We're off and running. Oh, good Lord. I don't know if there's anything that pisses me off more than bad internet, because my phone is my life. I don't want it to be this way. It shows me. What's up, guys? I was just saying before my original stream got cut off. What a week. I had a pretty good week last week. I'll say personally, I had a good week. But this week has been not as hot, but life is good. I said it on an Instagram live earlier, but everyone in Cali, especially LA, right where the fires are, just hope you're at a safe place. Everybody I know out there has confirmed that they're good. I don't know what to say about this because I have a girlfriend who's from Los Angeles in that area, and she has told me that these wildfires happen every year, and from what I'm hearing, this is a little bit worse than every year, or at least recent years. And I've heard that from her and others out there, so thank God everybody is good. So this is, yes, the way I wanted to start the show, but sports still happening. I didn't do a podcast last week for the previewing those games, the Georgia game and the Texas-Arizona State game, but obviously everyone affected by just the New Orleans thing. I mean, it's one thing after another. Feels like you just get on your phone every day and it's like, what's happening now? But I hope everybody is in a safe place in Cali, and if you know people in New Orleans, I hope that they, by now everything has been, they've gotten in touch with you, and same thing. Anytime there's anything that happens bad in an area and you're unsure about somebody there, I hope they've reached out to you. But yeah, I didn't do a podcast last week, and I mean, it was right to call that game off because the time was not then to do a game. You need everybody to get out of the way and be safe. Hello, Kayla. Thank you, everybody who's jumping on. So, yes, this is my sports show I do every week. I'd say 3 out of 4 weeks every month I do this at least. And tonight we have the Final Four of college football to see who gets all the marbles next Monday. We have tonight none other than the Notre Dame Fighting Irish defense, ranked number 8 overall. I don't even know what to say with these teams that have gotten in here, because I did not pick. I know I didn't pick Notre Dame to be in this position. Penn State, I thought, was going to sneak in there. Ohio State, absolutely not. At least after they lost to Michigan, it was like, come on. You lost to Michigan. Your year's over. I was wrong. Texas, I also doubted, even though my best friend lives in Austin and we grew up. He got me into the Miami Hurricanes, but his brother went to Texas, and we're definitely pulling for them to take it, if I'm being honest here. But I didn't see Texas being in this position, especially when they lost to Georgia again. with the backup in there, which credit to that guy for handling that moment as well as he did, because that's an awful lot to ask to take over for Carson Beck. And Beck gets a lot of crap, but I mean, he was showing up in big games. I mean, he found a way to close Florida out when they didn't look so hot to start. He beat Texas. I mean, he was winning when they asked him to. 8 overtimes against Georgia Tech. I mean, come on. And yet Georgia beats Texas twice out. Texas in playing. I mean, Sark wanted to say it was not a home game for them, but come on. I mean, you're in Texas. There's going to be an advantage. But was that to downplay if they lose this game? Because Texas has not looked their best. I hope not. I hope Sark has confidence going in here, because why are you there if you're not going to take a shot at winning it all, as Brian Billick said some 25 years ago, something like that. But yeah, my pick for that, I guess I jumped from Notre Dame quickly into the Texas game, but yeah, I'm starting off with Texas, and if they have a good game out of Quinn Ewers and off to a hot start, Ohio State, I mean, I know this is going to be a game where they're going to have to do the same as they did against Arizona State and put up a lot of points. At least I feel that's the way it's going to go. If Ohio State shuts them down after the first quarter, they've not scored more than 3 points, I think it's going to be Buckeyes all the way. But if it's a high-scoring affair, I trust if Quinn Ewers shows up, they're going to win that game somehow, some way. But does Texas have enough to win the national title? I don't know. I don't feel that they do. I do with Notre Dame. I mean, they've played probably the hottest team in the country right now, because people were high on Indiana even after they lost to Ohio State. That's when Ohio State kind of got people's attentions, like, hey, we're Ohio State. And they put it on Indiana. Notre Dame did. I think if Notre Dame goes out there and they have a defensive performance like they did in their last game, they will get it done. But Penn State, I mean, the quarterback play across the board, Penn State, I think of all of these teams, has been the best. Hands down. I think hands down. Even though they lost in the regular season, I think, to Ohio State, I think they have been the best, at least since that point. And I'm going to predict that it is... This is tough. I'm going to predict a close game, but I'm going with a rematch in the national title game, Penn State versus Ohio State. If Drew shows up and has a hot day, I think Penn State is going to possibly roll in that game by 2 touchdowns at least, but I'm predicting them regardless to win by lowest, I'll say 3-4 points. You want me to make a prediction for the score? I will say 34-31. 34-31. I'm picking Penn State to win. Texas, like I said, Quinn Ewers has got to show up, or I think they're fried. I think Texas is depending on, because their defense, man, I mean, so many penalties in these games. It's just infuriating, especially to Texas fans. I mean, I'm not a diehard like my my boy JD down in Austin, Texas. I mean, that's I'm calling him my boy because the man I've known JD for God, what, 30 years now almost. Even though we're Miami fans at heart, it's a close second, Texas Longhorns. Yeah, stay away from Texas. I don't know, man. I don't. I just don't feel confident in. I do think Texas will win a title in less than 3 years. I'm confident that it will win a title, but this year, no. So that's sorry, JD. I don't know what to say here. Known you for almost all my life, but this Texas team, I don't know. Could they have I mean, could they shock the world like they did with Vince Young? Well, you don't have a Vince Young on your team. So who's going to step up for Texas? I hope it doesn't come down to the kicking because that surfer looking dude, you don't want to put the game in the kicker's hands ever, but that guy, oh, he worries me every time I see him without his helmet. Just like like he's in Arizona and he just spotted a UFO in the canyons. But yeah, I'm picking Penn State by 3, and I'm gonna say Ohio State 31-21 over Texas. I mean, Texas had so many times where they should have lost against Arizona State, but I don't know. So that's what I'm saying. Other sports this week, we had the other night, good God, the Gators beat the brakes off of the Tennessee Volunteers. What did that end up being? A 30-point win? 73-43? Any given night, a team can show up and be hot. And I mean, Tennessee was never in that game. You have some nights where you just show up flat. I mean, this early in the year, I don't know, but Tennessee was just not ever in that game. And for Florida to get that was one of the biggest wins in program history. But again, does that confidence carry them the rest of the year? I don't know. I mean, you have, 2 more months of basketball, so... And I'm going to my first ever Gators game next month against Oklahoma. I believe they play Tennessee again before that. Maybe I have that wrong, but yeah. So we're going to see how confident they are. I mean, you have Arkansas coming up, which... Thoughts on John Calipari throwing... They say he threw his team under the bus. I don't think he did that. I think he knows how to motivate his players. Saying that they basically showed up for the team breakfast and then didn't play. That's what you do to fuel your players. Because they know he's a winner. So, I don't know. This is going to be interesting rest of the year, but Tennessee, do they get anywhere close to a title this year after a loss like that? Can you rebound? I don't know. Can Florida carry that momentum? Well, it's been a long time since they got a championship. What was that, 07 with Coach Donovan? So, I don't know. can't wait to see the Gators up close and see how well they play. And Oklahoma, I don't think they're the cat's meow when it comes to basketball this year, so they should win that game convincingly. I'm really the next month for the Gators is where I'm going to start to believe how far they can take this, because a win like that only gives you confidence, but if you don't do anything with it, that's where you feel the most regret. If you go to the Final Four, if you go to... And there's expectations with the Gators every year in basketball. I don't care if they haven't won a title in X amount of years. They're in the SEC. And the SEC is maybe not as competitive as they are in football, but they are for sure competitive. And I can't wait to watch it live. So we're going to see what happens, which stay tuned. I'm planning to do a video for that game against Oklahoma. Obviously, go Gators, even though I'm a Miami Hurricanes guy all the way. But Florida is not their biggest rival. They're an in-state rival. However, Florida State will forever have that crown. But we still are supposed to root against them. One of my high school friends went to Florida, but Oklahoma, now they're the direct competitor to... they're like the... like what Winn-Dixie is to Publix when it comes to Texas. So, God, I can't wait. I haven't been to a college basketball game in, Lord, I don't know how long, man. Has it been... Was I in college? I think I was in college when I last went to... Either in college or it was senior year of high school. So, over 10 years ago. I'll date myself. I dated myself for a long time until I met my girl. But yeah, I am taking the Gators to... I'm going to say that they are going to the tournament. I'll call that right now. Not good enough for you? It really is too early to see what's happening in college basketball, but I will make a video and make a prediction of what I think is going to happen to them the rest of the way. You want that? After I see them play live. And, I mean, not to bring the show down, but to close out this live podcast, well, it's not negative, it's just embarrassing. Good Lord, there's a lot of traffic coming through an area that I thought I was safe to quietly record in. But the FS1 scandal, look, guys, I don't know any of these people personally. I didn't work there. I don't date any of them. Nothing like that. So it's not my business. But what you can take away from it, if anything, is that it's never good to mix business and pleasure. You gotta let this be a lesson to you, because, man, how do you feel if you're Marcellus Wiley? I mean, there's so many layers to this story, and the negative publicity it's going to bring to that network. I mean, somebody made a good point today about that I saw on some YouTube video, that laws are going to be changed because of this. So we'll see how it plays out, but it will be playing out in court. You can rest assured on that. I don't know, man. I mean, I will say, for Skip to not address his part in it was, you have a right not to, but not a good look. Not a good look, Skip. I mean, who am I in the sports world? Just an independent podcaster and stand-up comic, but clearly you have a couple elephants in the room, and I would not be Tanya Harding skating around something like this. So let's see how it plays out. But guys, I got some dinner to eat. I've got some football to watch soon. Stay tuned, because, man, I got some really good stuff coming up. Speaking of Cali, there's some news involving Los Angeles. There's also some stuff I'm doing out here in the East Coast. Plenty of shows coming to you. First Live is coming up for the post-game podcast this year. A lot of kick-ass stuff. I hope that y'all come back in and watch when I do this again. I did my first live in a long time for the Tyson Fury Alexander Usyk card, and I love doing that. It's just I'm too, my brain is so scattered trying to keep track of the rounds for you guys, but I love doing lives when I have other people there, I'll say that. So best wishes tonight to all 4 teams in the playoffs. You heard it right here. It's going to be a rematch. Nittany Lions versus the Buckeyes in the national championship. I'm saying 34-31 Penn State and 31-21 Buckeyes. Let's see if I'm wrong. I know plenty of people will be happy if the Horns get in there, but of another friend of mine who is diehard Buckeye people, I mean, seriously, they would sell one of their kidneys or their kids for tickets to the national championship if they make it this year. We're going to see how it plays out, folks. But be safe, be good, be back soon.